Hey, do you know what the HighScope approach is? Originally known as cognitively oriented curriculum, was developed by Wackart Rogers, Adcock, and McKelland in 1971. For those who don't know me, hi, I am Sage, and on this channel, we make content for parents, teachers, and camp leaders to make a difference in kids' lives. Now, I want you to imagine, it is 1962, and there's a huge group of kids who are failing in Michigan due to poor neighborhoods. Or maybe they didn't hit the subscribe button. Now, jokes aside, David P. Wackart is the director of special services for the city's public schools and decided to do something about these struggling kids. As stated in Empowering Pedagogy in Early Childhood Education by Beverly Dietze and Diane Kashin, and in HighScope Preschool Curriculum by Epstein, Wackart took inspiration from his fellow colleagues, Jen Paget, John Dewey, Leaves Vygotsky, and many other models to try and find a solution to this problem. Typical nursery schools of the day focuses on social and emotional growth. However, committee members believe that the curriculum in the proposed programs should also address children's intellectual development to combat schools' failures. Let's say that again. They wanted intellectual development programs. So what did Wackart do? Him and his team created the HighScope approach, most famously used in the Perry Preschool study, where they took a group of low-income kids, also known as Group A and Group B. Group A attended the Perry Preschool, and Group B had no preschool. Stay tuned to find out what happens. Now, the HighScope program is structured like a giant loop to create learning through key development indicators, also known as KDIs. Now, in order to raise all these IQs, they believe children needed adult-child interactions, learning environments, daily routines, and assessment. And together, that creates active learning, which will fulfill the key development indicators. Now, the HighScope approach starts with the teachers, figuring out what Group A is interested in. They organize the room, also known as the third environment, to try and inspire them to learn. Materials have to be visually and physically available to stimulate children's interests and explorations. The adult and the child shares power over what's going to happen next. Children have power over what they learn, and adults work together with the children to make sure they're hitting those key development indicators. The teacher can help them by encouraging them, showing them the problem-solving approach to conflict, the interaction strategies. So when the children arrive, the routines enable children to anticipate what's going to happen next and gives them a great deal of control over what they're going to do each part of their preschool day. Now, there are 3 methods we have to go over in this category: plan, do, review, small groups, and large groups. In daily routines, first we have the plan, do, and review, which enables children to express their intentions, carry them out, and reflect on what they have done. Pretty basic, right? Now, to get the children started, the adults ask, what are you going to do? And the kids can either verbally tell them, hey, I want to do this. Or they might, if they're older, draw out a blueprint of what they're planning to do. Then the children go on over, they get started, they get going and exploring their environment or whatever interests them in that moment. The HighScope Preschool Curriculum says it should take just a few minutes or for as long as an hour. Through this planning, they develop their thinking and reasoning. Now, teachers have to observe the children. This is very important. The HighScope program suggests the maximum level of exploration for children to challenge their abilities. To meet this aim, teachers have to be active observers of children's behaviors and activities and are expected to create problem-solving situations in order to challenge the children to engage logically. So when the kids are all done this activity, they talk to their parents and the teacher, and they have a little conference about what they learned during this exploration. And sometimes they don't want to speak, so they can demonstrate, they can write it, or they can draw it. A HighScope approach. Kids also have small group times and large group times. Now, what does this mean? In small group time, children explore and experiment with familiar material adults have selected based on their daily observations of the children's interests, KDIs, and local events. Where large group times, both children and adults initiate movement and music activities, story enchantments, and cooperative play and projects. It's assessment time! Based on what the teacher has observed, causes them to reflect. Did the child meet the curriculum's goal? If not, at the end of the day, there is an overall assessment by adults, parents/teachers, together with children in an open conversation about the child's daily experiences and accomplishments. The educator uses teamwork, daily anecdotal notes, planning child assessments, and program assessments to help them determine if the intended key development indicators were hit. If not, then the following day, educators make a new plan to hit these goals during playing time based on the kids' interests. Now, the educator's job is to help children succeed, not only by helping them complete plan-do review, providing materials to interest them, and helping them stick to their daily routine, but by having a positive interaction with the kids. I don't know about you, but I want to know what happened to Group A and Group B. Did it make a difference? Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, we have the outcomes. So they followed these kids for 40 years after the program was developed to see if the HighScope had a difference in their lives. Already, just by the graph, we can see a huge difference. There were less arrests in Group A. They earned more money. More of them graduated from high school. They completed basic achievements at 14. More completed homework at age 15. Now there's more outcomes from the study, but only on the sides of male children. Now this shocked me. So out of the two groups, which one do you think had second or third marriages? If you guessed Group A, you are right. In Empowering Pedagogy for Early Childhood Education, it states it has been criticized by critics for its emphasis on cognitive development over social and emotional development and cites it as being developmentally inappropriate for children. Hold on. This doesn't make sense to me because when you look at the key development indicators, there's a whole section on social and emotional development. But when I looked closer, this is the new book made in 2012. And this critic wrote this in the 20,000s. So obviously something happened in between that time. And this is just a guess. I don't know if this has happened, but I think what happened is they realized, thanks to all these critics out there, that there was a gap and they decided to add it to the curriculum because they realized social and emotional development is very important for kids. So my question is, would you use this approach and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you would like to know more about this approach, I have a list of resources I used for this whole video listed down below. And double thanks if you hit that like button or subscribe.